It hasn't been too long since I last made an upcoming releases slash new releases video, but once again, there are a few books coming out that I am super pumped for, so I figured I'd just make a video and share some of them. I think I have 7 on this list, which isn't a whole lot, but like I said, I don't think it was that long ago that I actually did this. There are a few on this list that are actually already out or about to come out that I did not even know were being created until like a week ago. Let me know in the comments if there are any upcoming slash new releases that you were super excited for, or maybe that you have already had the pleasure of reading and you recommend them. So first off is another novel by ML Rio that's coming out called Hot Wax. ML Rio is the author of If We Were Villains and also Graveyard Shift. I have If We Were Villains. I have yet to read that one, but I have read Graveyard Shift, and this to me was absolutely 5 stars. I loved it so much. So when I heard that ML Rio was creating another atmospheric story, I could not wait. And the best part is that this one is already out. It was actually released on September 9th. So hopefully with that being said, I'll get my hands on it sooner rather than later. I tend to try to wait until books either go on sale or find them in a secondhand store or on Book Outlet. Just with the prices of books in Canada right now, it is really hard to buy every single book that you are interested in brand new. Unfortunately, I'm not a billionaire, so it's not feasible for me, but hopefully in the future I will get to read this one. Another book I am super excited for comes out September 30th, and that is The Impossible Fortune by Richard Osman. So this is another Thursday Murder Club book, and I have only read the first 2. I do believe that I have the 3rd and the 4th one. I just haven't got to them yet, but I really enjoy the characters and the stories that Richard Osman has created for this series, and I'm super excited that he's still continuing it. I don't know how many books he intends to write for this series, but hopefully it goes on for a while because I feel like it definitely could. So if you don't know what the Thursday Murder Club is, it is basically a group of seniors who live in a retirement home who decide to solve crimes and murders together. And I know that sounds a little bit dull, but it's not. They each have their own like unique personalities that they bring to the table, and they're super funny, and the chemistry between the characters is so well written. And if you like stuff like cozy mysteries like Agatha Christie, I definitely think that this series too would be right up your alley. Next we have Brigands and Bread Knives by Travis Baldree. So this is the 3rd installment, but I believe potentially a prequel to Legends and Lattes, which is a cozy fantasy novel that I have yet to read. So I don't know that I have a right to say I'm actually excited about this release, but I've been told by a few different people who have read Legends and Lattes that it would definitely be up my alley. I do own that one, and I own Bookshops and Bone Dust as well. I just have yet to read them, unfortunately. There are just way too many things on my TBR. Next, we have another book coming out that I'm very excited for, and it is being released on October 14th, and it is another memoir by Michael J. Fox with a really long title, so give me 1 second. It's called Future Boy, Back to the Future, and My Journey Through the Space-Time Continuum. I have listened to 2 of Michael J. Fox's memoirs through the form of an audiobook read by him, and I loved them both so much. This one is supposed to be more focused on the filming of Back to the Future, whereas the other ones were more focused on his life and experiences. He is an extremely funny guy to listen to. He has so many stories and he tells them in the greatest ways possible, and I'm really hoping that this one gets an audiobook that's narrated by him as well, because I just think that would be the cherry on top of an amazing book. Normally with audiobooks, I tend to listen to them on like 1.5 times to maybe 2 times speed, depending on how fast the author talks, just because I find a lot of the times it's very slow, but Michael J. Fox talks very quickly, regularly, so 1 time speed was perfect, and then also it was just better to listen to it at regular speed and hear like the tone of his voice and the way he delivered jokes and stuff. Too funny. Those are memoirs that I would definitely listen to again, and I also highly recommend listening to the audiobook form for. I am sure that the physical copies are just as good. Just adds an extra something with him reading them. Then on December 2nd, we are finally getting another installation in the Shadowhunters series by Cassandra Clare, and I have been a fan of the Shadowhunters series since like 2013, I think. This one is going to be called Better in Black, and it is 10 short stories surrounding, I believe, a romance, and each story follows a different couple that is in this series. I am a little bit disappointed that this is going to be another bind up of her short stories, just because they tend to not be my personal favorite when it comes to her works. I was really hoping we were going to get the start of another trilogy or series or something that comes after Chain of Thorns, because there's very obviously more to the story that we have not gotten yet. and I can't wait to finally get that. Don't get me wrong, there are certainly some characters, rather some couples in the Shadowhunters series that I would definitely love to read more about, and I think that that would be absolutely great. I just really hope that this doesn't mean that we're gonna have to wait even longer for another book. Another book that I am really looking forward to is another memoir that is coming out October 21st, and that is Finding My Way by Malala Yousafzai. If you don't know who Malala Yousafzai is, she is the woman who wrote I Am Malala, which is a very amazing memoir. If you have yet to read that one, highly recommend it. So I Am Malala focused around her life up to the age of like 15, around that, which is when she was brutally attacked by the Taliban. But she ended up living, writing a book about it. She does a whole bunch of conferences and speeches surrounding world peace now. Now, this memoir is supposed to be focused more on what happened after that. So, her becoming an international icon almost overnight and how she's had to deal with the changes in her life, as well as now living in a different country. She can no longer live in Pakistan. She is so well spoken and has so much to teach people. And then, last on my list of anticipated upcoming releases is another memoir coming out September 23rd, I believe, but the date might have been pushed back just because of an issue with the publishing. And that is called Unseen: How I Lost My Vision But Found My Voice by Molly Burke. I have been following Molly Burke on TikTok for a few years now, and if you don't know who she is a blind creator who just shares snippets of her life and shares what her life is like being blind and having a service dog and just doing simple things that you wouldn't really think about as a seeing person, but that she has to do differently every single day just because she cannot see. Something as simple as pouring a cup of coffee. She can do it, but she has to do it in a different kind of way. Super interesting person. She's also very bubbly and funny, and her sense of humor is peak, honestly. It's so great. So I cannot wait to read this memoir. I think that this one is going to be very interesting and educational as well. Now, I do think that the publishing date has changed because I remember seeing a video of her saying that on the front cover, like the dust jacket, there's supposed to be Braille because she wants her book to be accessible, obviously, but there was some sort of issue with how they printed it, and so the Braille was not actually tactile. It was pretty well flat on the dust cover, and she didn't want to publish it like that. So I think there was a bit of a setback. I'm not entirely sure what the new date is. I guess I could just look it up. Okay, apparently some places are still saying it's going to be September 23rd, but others are saying October 14th. So I don't know which one is true. Either way, I'm sure it is going to be a great read and I cannot wait. But I think I am going to leave this one here. I feel like I've said this so many times already this video, but I can't wait for any of these books to come out. I swear I'm never ever going to get through my TBR, but honestly, I kind of like it like that. So hopefully the good books keep coming. But with that, I hope you have a great rest of your week and happy reading.